Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new here or you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and helping us feed a hungry hippo. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Today is Tuesday, November 21st, which means it's time for What's Sold on eBay. We sold a lot of plush last week. So we're going to start with the plush just like we do every week. We'll go through all of the plush that sold. And I've only really pulled out 3 other items to show you, maybe 3. But we sold some plush last week. I cannot believe how they've picked up. But it is Q4. It is the time for plush to sell, I guess. We sold a lot. Yesterday when we were packing up our weekend orders, it was like a ratio of 4 plush to every 1 piece of clothing, and that includes our other platforms as well. But a lot of plush has been selling. So let's take a look at all the plush that sold last week. There's 12 of them. So we're going to start with Mitchell's versus the Machines. This came in a wholesale lot. Most of my plush now comes in wholesale lots. I don't really source them myself from the thrift stores. We used to have a Goodwill here that would put a bunch of plush in a buggy at the front of the store, and they were all 50 cents a piece. And they also used to be like a couple bucks or less. That does not exist here anymore, and the plush like ridiculously start at $5 and $7 even for something like this. So I don't really source them anymore. I buy them wholesale from several different places. In fact, I have a video coming out later this week, probably over the weekend, about places where we buy wholesale lots. I have I call her my resale, or I call her my plush dealer, sorry. And I have a friend that sources plush for me that I buy them from her. I do buyouts on other sellers. My friend Robert, you guys know Robert, he's the other big plush seller. He has a lot of success with going on Whatnot and buying folks out. Like if they have a show, he'll say, I'll buy all your plush in the show for, $1 a piece. That's the way to do it now because most thrift stores have really raised the prices on them. If you can get them from the bins and stuff too, they're very affordable. So unless I say otherwise, just always, assume on this video that my plush came in a wholesale lot and they're usually $1 or less, maybe $1.50, depending on the lot. So this is Mitchell's versus the Machines. I'd never heard of this, but apparently it's a cartoon. This did not take long to sell at all. So I don't know if it's a current cartoon. Let me know if you know, because I've never heard of it. Is it current? Is it popular? I don't know, but it only took a couple weeks to sell. And that's like super fast in plush world. A plush selling in a couple of weeks is like when you list a piece of clothing and it sells overnight. It's crazy. Anyway, this sold for $10.49 plus $5 shipping, rounding up. We have a Wild Republic Cuddlekins dodo bird. He is really stinking cute, and I was really, really disappointed when I comped him. Wild Republic is a very good brand of plush, and they do a lot of realistic plush. And if you can find the jumbo ones, they go for a lot of money. I thought the dodo bird was going to be unique and sell for a lot, but he didn't comp for as much as I'd hoped. I took a best offer on him of $8 plus $5 shipping. Next up, we have a Beanie Baby lot. Yes, I sell Beanie Babies. If you hadn't heard, I tried a plush box from Goodwill Blue Box, and I'll also talk about that in the video later in the week about the wholesale lots. And I got a box of 10 pounds of Beanie Babies, and so I decided to sell them all. I want to make my money back that I paid for it. I want to make some profit if I can. So I sat here one day while I was watching a movie. It didn't even take me the whole length of the movie. It really wasn't that hard of work, and it wasn't a waste of time, and it didn't take a lot of time. I just sat here, while I was watching a movie and sorted the animals into alike animals, cats, dogs, farm animals, what have you, and took pictures of the little lots. And they've been selling pretty good. I mean, this was just a couple months ago, and I've sold several of the lots already on Poshmark as well. So I don't feel like it was a huge colossal waste of my time. And it was not a colossal waste of my money because I'm recouping it. I took the best offer, $6.12. So I took $6.12 for these 3 beanies plus $7 shipping. So $13 all in, and I don't think they cost but like $4 to ship. So a little bit at a time. I will not be purchasing that plush lot again, though. Trust me. A Barrington Collection White Bunny Rabbit. I like Barrington. It usually has bears, but this is a little Easter bunny. And he sold for $10.81 on the best offer, plus 6 shipping. A Nick Jr. Paw Patrol Rescue Rocky from the Jungle Paw Patrol. You can see he has his little jungle outfit on. I took a best offer of $8 on him, plus 5 shipping. A vintage 2002 Dandy Christmas Snowflake Teddy Bear. So back in the day, a couple years ago, I bought a whole lot of these bears, all different years, and they're still selling. The first couple that sold, paid for the lot, and they're still selling. Some people will tell you to avoid plushies with years on them. I have the opposite thought. Every year, for somebody out there, something significant happened to them. Whether it was a graduation, a wedding, a divorce they really wanted, a new job. But something significant happens to people all the time, especially around Christmas time. There's always some special year where a new baby was born or something. And people do go back and buy these bears from years past to commemorate those events and those years. So I do sell plush with years on them, especially when they're holiday themed. So this dandy sold for $17 plus 13 shipping. So that's a $30 all-in buy. And if you get the 12, I'm rounding this up. It's not the exact measurements, but there's a big shipping box on USPS.com that you can get for free. It's like 12 by 9 by 9. It's right under the measurements to where the prices become exorbitant for the measurements of the box. So it's right under that. If you're within zones 1 through 4, you can ship a huge plush in that box for like $6 or $7. Check pirate ship as well as eBay prices. But a lot of times when these big plushies sell, we put them in those boxes. If they're like on this side of the coast, near, the East Coast, we can ship them for like $6 and $7 sometimes. So make sure you order some of those boxes. They're free, and you can put big plushies in them. You can put a lot of big stuff in them. All right, next up we have a Fiesta Wolf. This is another big one we sold. He sold for $7.91 plus 13 shipping. And he's just a big Fiesta Wolf. I just listed him very recently. He didn't take that long to sell. And he went in one of those big boxes as well. This one sold pretty quickly too. So a lot of the plush that I'm listing now or in the last few months, like say September, are already selling. A lot are selling within a month or within a couple of weeks. It's because it's Q4. People in Q4 are buying more plush, but they're also looking for specific plush. And if you list the right one at the right time, you're going to sell it a lot more quickly than you would in the summer or any other time of year. Don't forget also buyers can do a search. So if somebody really wanted this panda bear for their granddaughter, say, and they had a search on and I listed it, it's going to notify them that, hey, the We Wear Cute Ashley Build-A-Bear Panda was just listed. If they see that my price is something they're acceptable to pay, they'll buy it. So I've been getting a lot of questions. I've seen it in my Facebook group, and I got a couple of emails and Instagram messages in the last week or so where folks were asking me, did I list this too low? Did I not price it high enough? Because it sold a lot quicker than I'm used to this brand or this type of plush selling. And that's probably what's happening. It's Q4. More people are buying plush for gifts for Christmas and the holidays. And more folks are probably setting up searches. And if you're listing a lot of plush right now, they're going to be selling a lot more quickly. Just make sure you do your due diligence when you comp them. Look at the solds to see what they're actually selling for, but also look at the active listings. You've got to look at both. Plushies and clothing and hard goods and shoes, they can all fluctuate in prices. If a lot of people are racing to the bottom or an item gets oversaturated, the price can go, tank, can go lower. If something becomes less saturated and harder to find and there's less of them online and people are raising their prices, the prices can go up. A lot of people raise their prices around Q4 as well. So do your due diligence. Look at what they're actually selling for. Look at what they're listed for. Don't be afraid to use Terapeak to do your research and look at the last 2 or 3 years on an item. Don't take too long. Like, don't overthink it and spend way too much time. But do your due diligence. Make sure you're comping it. Pricing somewhere in the middle to the higher side. Don't participate in that race to the bottom. And if it sells quickly, it's probably just because it's Q4. So like this panda sold really quickly. Most of these plushies have not been up for very long. Other than this bear. Where'd it go? The dandy bear, this one. This one's, I've had for like a year, maybe a year and a half. But most of these have been going up very recently, within the last couple of months. And I just chalked that up to Q4 because I know I price on the higher side. So this Build-A-Bear is really cute. I mean, she is so cute. Look at her face. I thought she was so cute when I pulled her out of the box when I did the unboxing. She sold for $15.74 plus 7 shipping. This Easter Peep's been around for a couple of years, but it finally sold for this year's holiday. It is an Easter Peep, but it has a Santa hat on, so I used all those good keywords in the title, as you can see. Sold for $5.26 plus 6 shipping. These little peeps will always sell for about $12 all in. If you can find the really big ones, the rabbits that weigh like a pound or two, you can get like $30 for them. We have a vintage 1970s Holly Hobby in her patchwork dress. She's like an older doll. Whoops. I left my location picture in the listing. I sold her for $9 plus 6 shipping. We have a Mary Meyer Flamingo Lovey. Mary Meyer is a good brand. If you ever see Loveys or plushies that are Mary Meyer, you want to snatch them up. If you see Loveys, those are a bolo as well. If you're not familiar with what a Lovey is, it's usually a small 12 by 12 square little security blanket, and in the middle it will have a plush animal or a plush doll. They do come in larger sizes, as you're going to see next, but most of them are this size. This one sold for $21 plus 6 shipping, and it is really cute. Like, this is one of the cutest ones I've ever seen. And this is a big one. So this one is 30 by 45 inches. So Loveys can come in big sizes as well. And you can see this is Little Miracles, which is a really, really good brand when it comes to baby and infant plushes and Loveys. But this doesn't have the plushie in the middle of the blanket. It's more like arm and head on the outside, and it kind of wraps around the blanket. But it's still considered a Lovey. And it sold for $41.16 plus $13 shipping. And this is another example of one I put in the large box. I do put tissue paper in there. I should add, especially on these expensive ones. These smaller plushies that are like 10 and 12 bucks and whatever, I usually just put into a poly bag, no frills, and just ship them out. Even these little lots of Beanie Babies, they all fit in one little 9 by 12 poly bag together. But when they're these bigger animals, especially the ones they're paying a lot of money for, and they're paying like $13 shipping, when they go in those boxes, I'll usually put a tissue paper in, wrap the animal in that, and then put another one over the top just to kind of make it look nicer. They paid more money, so I try to make it a little more fancy, I guess. But those were all the plushies that sold. And this one and the Lovey were like icing on the cake. Those are exciting sales. This was only like $1 in a lot. So, the profit there is amazing. I pulled out 2 of the pairs of jeans that sold. We sell a lot of the same jeans all the time. Whenever I have bolo brands that sell or exciting brands that sell, I do try to pull those out and show them to you in the what solds. But for the most part, you guys, we have built our volume-based business on bread and butter brands. And so we sell a lot of American Eagle, Gap, Old Navy. I love Hollister and Abercrombie. People say those are poop brands, and I tell you every week, I love them. I sell them all the time. I cannot keep them in the store. On paper, Hollister should have a very low sell-through rate. When I list Hollister, it sells within a month. These are the jogger jeans with like the cuffs on the bottom. These came out of a ThredUp box. They sold for $8.74 plus 10 shipping. And I sell these all the time, American Eagle. But I wanted to show you this particular pair because it's the hipsters. And they usually are like more bootcut, flare, bell-bottomy. And they don't take that long to sell. I think they might be harder to find now. They might be a little less saturated, or there's not as many of the hipsters that look like this. So any women that like this style are obviously online shopping for it. And whenever I get the hipsters or like the flare and American Eagle, they don't take that long to sell. These sold for $8.74 plus 10 shipping. And that's not a lot of money, but sometimes it's about the speed too. So like $1.11, I think, was the price per piece in this box, maybe $1.15, into, you know, a $9, $10 profit within a month. That's almost 9 times your cost into profit in a very little time. Something like this took like a year to sell. So sometimes for me, it's more about like a quicker return on my investment. And our cost of goods is so low that even if I'm only profiting $9 on something, I'm profiting $9 after our cost of goods, fees, and shipping. So I turned my dollar into $9. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's a no-brainer. But that's just our business model. And then I wanted to show you this remote. We sold a handful of remotes last week. Actually, more remotes than we have lately. It's almost like those picked up in Q4 too. Maybe people are replacing their remotes because they're having company over for the holidays. I don't know. But I don't always show you them because you guys know we buy our remotes like 25 cents a pound. So we're paying pennies, and we list everything we get when we buy the Gaylords or the boxes of remotes. We pay so little for them that we sell the $5 ones all the way up to the $100 ones. But occasionally I will show you a remote because you guys are probably finding them in the thrift stores or at garage sales. So there are certain ones that you want to keep your eyes out for. We got like $18 all in for this one. If you can find these for a quarter or 50 cents, you know, they're worth it. The DVD VCR combos are a bolo. The actual DVD VCR machines, those are a bolo. If you guys don't know to get those, absolutely. If you find the remotes for them, those are a bolo as well. Because a lot of times other sellers are going to buy these remotes from you. So if they find the DVD VCR combo at a thrift store or garage sale, and they can come onto eBay and get the remote that goes with the model they have, it raises the price significantly on their sale. So they're going to pay you $18 for a remote because it's going to add like a $20, $25 value to their DVD VCR combo. So I always look for these. We have a lot of repeat buyers on our remotes too. And you can tell by the names that they are other businesses, and they'll buy 3 or 4 remotes at a time. So I know that's what they're doing, and I'm fine with it. I'm getting the price I wanted. They're making their money. Everybody's happy. It's part of capitalism. It's why we all own our own businesses. All right, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything you saw in this video today, let me know down in the comments. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving this week, guys. Be safe and have fun and enjoy your food. And also still be productive and make that money, but take the time for yourself and your family this week. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all are the best. Bye.